Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. What's the problem with Manchester United? And I don't mean not making a signing by the start of June or not winning a trophy in the last 5 years. I mean, what is the problem with Manchester United for you? Because for me, the problem for Manchester United is, well, there's 5 things I'm going to discuss, but it's the corporate side. Everything is to do with that, how the club is run. Because when I think of the badge, I think of the reasons I support the club, I think of the history. This is what I'm in love with. But I think that's been detached by what we've become over the last 16 years under the Glazers. And I don't want to talk about, I don't like the Glazers, I don't like players or anything like that, because I think that's part of the problem. But what are the problems? Because if this is to be a new start for Manchester United under Ten Hag and the new CEO and everything else that's doing, then ultimately, are my problems just performance, transfers, or actually does it run a bit deeper? And can the club learn from that? Because I think a lot of fans feel like this. So feel free to get in the comments. And we're thinking beyond just things like transfers that may feature in a little bit. And I think the first thing that really bothers me is the reputation of this great football club. Our reputation is not great, whether it's agents, other clubs, other fans, how we perform on the pitch, how we perform off the pitch. We are an embarrassment. In relation to the name Manchester United, we are an embarrassment. And we are perceived as an embarrassment. Fans take pity on us now. Agents laugh at the way we operate. Certain players won't come anywhere near us. Look at someone like Haaland. We were looking at him a couple of years ago. He wouldn't come anywhere near us now. Reputationally, our name is on the floor. Now, Manchester United will always be a big club. But a big club like AC Milan, AC Milan hadn't won anything for a long time. You can fall into oblivion and still be a big club. And United basically have done that. We need to re-establish our reputation, and we will do that by many different factors. But our reputation, that hurts me. That's my problem with one of my big problems with the way this club is run by the Glazers. The second thing I would say is expertise. Expertise is something that they seem to want to avoid. Expertise is so important. Somebody said yesterday that this Marina, is it? I can never pronounce the name, at Chelsea, who was involved in transfers, is going to be leaving. United should be looking at that. I don't want to name individuals, but Manchester United should be looking for expertise to bring into the football club. But because the way that club's been run, certainly under the last 9 years by Ed Woodward as a CEO, they want to keep it in-house. They want to be in control. They want people to be compliant. And that, to me, is not how to run a football club, that you are competing against clubs that are better run than you. Whether it's Man City, Real Madrid, PSG, Liverpool, or many other clubs, Bayern Munich, etc. They're all run better with different focuses. And Manchester United, it's almost like under the Glazers. We've got this arrogance where we don't want to listen to anybody else and we know best. But there's no expertise driving that. I want Manchester United to be experts. I want Manchester United to look into the world and go, like you recruit a player, if we need a midfielder, oh, there's a player at Barcelona or there's a player at West Ham, let's go and get them because we need that in the midfield. I want the club to do that, whether it's CEO, football director or whatever. I don't want us to be recruiting mates. I don't want us to be recruiting people we went to university with. I want us to recruit the best. I want expertise. Expertise will feed into reputation, because the better we do our job, the better the reputation would be. Communication is key. I've mentioned this many times. I think communication is so important. I don't want to talk about Ralf Rangnick anymore. He's left the club, but his legacy will be communication. The ability to communicate with the fans and hit the notes that we want to sing. We were not happy with the attitude of the players, the effort levels of the players, the way the club didn't back a manager in January, the holes that were left in the team throughout a season, which you cannot do when you're Manchester United. Ralf Rangnick communicated these issues, and Manchester United should take that on board, because Rangnick did not deliver on the pitch. He still played Maguire. He still played McTominay and Fred. He still kept picking Bruno when he was rubbish. Really, Rangnick, on footballing terms, made a lot of similar decisions to those of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and seemed to have a core of favourites. And the football and the results weren't great. But he did communicate well. And that basically, in a season that was lost anyway, the one solace we took was the communication from Ralf Rangnick. Now, if I'm in charge of Manchester United, and what my big problem with Manchester United is the way we do get treated like mushrooms, the way we do get thrown in the dark and ignored. If I'm Manchester United, I'm looking at the model of a Bayern Munich or a Dortmund or somebody like that, where you have a manager, you have a sporting director, you have a CEO, and they're all communicating. When we were buying Sancho, we were hearing from their CEO, we were hearing from their sporting director talking about transfers. At Manchester United, it's the manager or nothing, and the manager can be a puppet, as we saw with Solskjaer, where he'll pretend everything's well. Communicate with your fans, and you will have a better relationship with your fans. This is not primary school where we've just got to sit down and take orders. This is generations of fans who love this football club, who know more about this football club than the people running it. Communicate with them. Be honest with them. Communicate. This is a big thing for Manchester United, and it's something that we seem to ignore, and that feeds into something else as well. I want Manchester United to be intelligent in the way that they deliver their messages. And what I mean by this is, I personally don't like winning team. I personally am not interested in, a lot of the stuff that the club put out. And, I'm by a long way, I'm probably not the older generation, and I wouldn't class myself as, hardcore or whatever you want to call it. There's this, what I'm trying to say is, we've got a very diverse fan base. We've got people who go home and away. They're travelling over from Ireland, from Europe, from down south, from Manchester. These sort of fans probably aren't that interested in logging on and seeing our Twitter account go winning team after a loss just because they've won at training. I think that in this social media world, obviously a lot of brands want to hit into certain demographics of people in relation to age group and the TikTok generation and Snapchat and all that lot. But that doesn't mean that our voice as a football club needs to be that of somebody who's into TikTok. I think sometimes we're almost alienating some of our fan base. And obviously the Super League was about alienating the local fan and going for these franchise games in America and Australia and everywhere else. But there are people in America and India and Australia who are exactly the same as the age groups of these fans who just feel a little bit left out or ignored. Like, it's almost, if you're over 30, the club's not interested in you because they want to be cool, they want to be down with the kids, they want to be doing stuff on TikTok and this, that and the other. And actually, sometimes let's be a bit intelligent. One of the big problems with this fan base is that it can be quite divided. And how do you make it come together? Well, that's the responsibility of the football club as well, through communication, but also through the message you put out. And I think the message we put out a lot of the time is just happy, smiley photos and pissing about. And actually, we've just had the worst season we've ever had. And, you've got your head of social media after every goal running around with his phone like it's to get it up on TikTok, this, that and the other. And it just becomes what it is. There's no problem with hitting that demographic. There's no problem with putting stuff on TikTok or Twitter or anything like that. But where's the diversity in what you're trying to do, in the messages that you're trying to achieve? Like, we've got a great fan base that goes away from home. Where's your interaction with that? Where's your crowd shots of them? All these sort of things should be just as important, because we want a football club that's for everybody. We're Manchester United, and I don't think we hit that brief enough, because I think we're so obsessed with branding, commercial branding. And I think, look, that will come. I've always said this. I don't know why the Glazers never switched on to the fact that we were crap on the football pitch, but you were justifying a CEO and a team because they were making you money. Like, if you're making £100 million a year in profit off Manchester United branding, but we're not performing well like we haven't over the last 9 years, I can guarantee I can make you £150 million a year profit if we're performing better on the pitch. The Glazers never switched on to that, because it's almost like, squeezing. It's like a cloth that's wet, squeezing the last few drops out of it instead of just immersing it in water again and then squeezing it and doing that. Like, United's an endless bath of water that you can squeeze your money out of with your cloth. It is, but we're not intelligent. Everything we do just seems to be, that's the obsession now. We're a bloody football club. Can we not be about everybody instead of... I at times see our social media for Manchester United, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the stuff they put out. They don't seem to know what voice they are. And if you don't know what voice you are, then you're going to get ridiculed by everybody. So I think we could be a lot better in relation to that. And then I think my biggest problem for Manchester United, and I'll save it till last, my biggest problem is to win on the pitch. to change the motto of the football club. I want us to win on the pitch. I think we have become a theme park. We have become a commercial. We have become a brand and not a football club. And look, this fits in with the present. If Ten Hag's coming into the club and it really is a new start, and Richard Arnold is the CEO, is going to take more responsibility of the branding side of things and leave the football side of things to Murta and Ten Hag and the teams that they want to do, good. That's a good start. But let's not let it be one summer. Let it be the next 5 summers. We have to be, as a football club, a football club. We're Manchester United. And I don't want to keep talking about the problems I've spoken about. I want to talk about what I remember from 99 and 08 and all those years under Sir Alex Ferguson, where we were massively popular. I mean, I remember one Christmas, it was probably about 2000, and I'm opening up my presents, and I got a VHS video called The Promised Land. The year before, I'd got a video of the entire 99 season, because I always used to get those. This was before DVDs, and for years I used to get the United Review every time it came out to watch the season back, because we were brilliant and I enjoyed it. I mean, who is going, imagine how depressed you'd have to be to buy Manchester United season review last year. I mean, the sales on that are going to be terrible. But ultimately, I think with regards to Manchester United, there was a video around 2000, The Promised Land, and it was all about Vodafone, if I remember, and we went on tour, and it was basically just one big commercial. So, Man United, I'm not knocking the branding. I'm not knocking that. I know that's the modern game, and we were one of the first clubs who did it, and that was before the Glazers. That's my point. Let's not pretend that the Glazers turned us into a commercial cash cow. We were already looking to do that, and the Glazers wanted to do it a lot more. But we were a good football team then. You'll make more money when you're performing on the pitch, and United seem to have got lost. I want United to be focused at being good on the pitch, because Manchester United have a huge fan base, have a huge history, and must always be a football club that's competing for the best prizes. I accept we won't always win them, but we've not been competing for them. That's the hard thing to swallow. So I want us to be focused on the pitch. I want Manchester United to be a football club foremost and focus on the pitch. And all the money the Glazers want to make and everybody else wants to make, that will come if we focus on the pitch. People will say, well, they don't want to do that because they just want to take money out of the club and their dividends. We've spent £1 billion in the last 10 years. It's just been spent badly. So I'll go back again. Communication in how we communicate with the fans. Intelligence in how we communicate with all of our fans. Reputation. I want our reputation to be good, not embarrassing in the world of football. That comes from expertise. I want expertise in that football club. I want us to recruit the best, not people who are our mates. And I want us to be focused on being a football club on the pitch. They're my 5 problems with Manchester United, and they're my biggest 5 problems. Transfers, lack of winning trophies, all feeds into that, because those 5 things are all about the corporate way Manchester United is run. I want it to be a football club. Results, players, transfers, that comes down to different things. They're very annoying, but my problem with Manchester United is those 5 things, because I think they feed into everything. What's yours? What's yours? In this time of honesty, it's a little bit of therapy. We're going into a new start after the worst season we've ever had. Take a little bit, put your comments in. What is it? What's your problem with Manchester United? And ultimately, you can say it's the Glazers, but what aspect of that? Ultimately, you could say it was Ed Woodward and Matt Judge and Arnold and everybody else, but what is it about that? It could be managers. What is it about that? What's your problems? Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you all soon.